English, there's a certain saying that history keeps repeating itself. And what I've always said is that the reason why history continues repeating itself in cycles is just because the mind continues to repeat itself in cycles. And there are many very ancient superstitions which today we understand, okay, they are superstitions, but still we are carrying heaps of superstitions and repeating the same patterns at the level of the mind. And I'll give you a few examples of what I mean. You're all familiar with the story of the Bible in Genesis, that God has created the world in 6 days. On the 7th day he rested, and with God's creation, with all the animals and the plants and the mountains and the rivers and the trees and the fruits, all this was created for the sake of human being, for his use. Now, to me, this is a very dangerous idea, because the moment you start thinking that, okay, this whole creation is there as a utility for me, now you can engage in the most irresponsible behavior without even questioning, because the whole existence is just there as a utility. And this is especially if you're put in a position where you have so much resources and power at your disposal, that is actually more the need to be responsible for awareness, for consciousness. And this is also tremendously unscientific, because suppose tomorrow morning the worms are not doing well in the soil, then what will happen? The whole food chain will collapse. And for ages, human beings were thinking we're at the peak of the whole existence, that the whole universe revolves around man. Or in ancient Greece, they were carrying what's called in their minds, they were talking about the geocentric model of the universe, meaning the earth is the center of the universe. At the time of Ptolemy and many ancient Greek philosophers, they were thinking that the earth is the center of the universe. And that was also an idea which was believed in Europe for hundreds and hundreds of years. But Galileo, he proved this, that the universe does not revolve around the earth. Because at the time of Galileo, he owned the most expensive telescope in the world at the time. And when he looked out into space, he saw, okay, Jupiter, it has 4 moons. Now, why are these 4 moons moving not around the earth? They're moving around Jupiter. So then he suspected, okay, maybe the earth is not the center of the universe. And at this time, this was just a theory, but hundreds of years later, this was confirmed by scientists that, okay, yes, we were believing so many old-fashioned superstitious ideas that the earth is the center of the universe. Today we know this as a scientific fact, that the earth is not the center of the universe. Or in the last 100 years, you'll see the same pattern continued repeating itself. They're saying, okay, so man is not the center of the universe, the earth is not the center of the universe, but they were still thinking, okay, the Milky Way, the whole universe is just our Milky Way galaxy. But there was a scientist named Edwin Hubble, and he looked off into space and he saw many faraway burning stars, red lights in the sky. And he thought, what are these burning red lights? They were the supernovas. And supernovas are stars which have imploded and they exploded amongst themselves. So there's a method in astronomy which you can measure what is the distance of certain faraway planets and stars by measuring what's the brightness of these bodies in the sky. So he measured them and he found, okay, these supernovas are light years and light years away, well beyond the Milky Way galaxy. And this shattered again the whole superstitious idea which was very popular at the time in science, that now the Milky Way is the only galaxy in the universe. Now at this time in history, we've moved beyond all these ideas, but I still say we're carrying many superstitions at the level of the mind. just because this is basically the basic superstition, and to me it's the most ancient superstition of believing that the ego, that this sense of self or this sense of identity, the whole universe is revolving around this sense of identity.